Hi, I'm Amy Kaufman with the Los Angeles Times, and we are here with Michael B. Jordan from the film Creed. Thank you for being here, Michael.
Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Okay, so first of all, can we discuss the viral video that's going around of you getting knocked out
Oh,
in
wow.
Creed?
Okay, cool. I was like, all right, what video do you guys have? No.
Like stumbling out of a cloud. No. That's gnarly. So you actually got knocked out on the set of Creed.
I didn't get knocked out per se, like, and you know, I didn't lose consciousness, but I definitely was smelling the canvas for a little bit longer than I had to because, yeah, taking a real punch from Tony wasn't really the.
So how do you? So
fun.
you're down there, and then like you just get up. Like how long?
Yeah,
did it take
I mean,
you to get up?
what kind of how it happened was, you know, we were doing, you know, this one particular, you know, fight sequence, and you know, we kept trying to slip the punch, you know, slip the punch. But when we're shooting in slow motion,
fake?
slip means fake. You know, like when somebody throws a punch, you just kind of like slip with it, and it looks like I was getting hit, but I didn't really get hit.
Okay.
But on this particular shot, we couldn't really fake it because, you know, shooting slow motion, you can see the space between the glove and my face like pretty clearly. So anyway, Sly's in the back snickering. He's just pretty much like, you know what, Mike? You know, you gotta take the hit. You gotta take a real punch. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, look, this is your initiation to the world of Rocky. So you trust me, I did it. You gotta do it. So let's kind of let's do it. And I'm like, and me and him we're bantering back and forth and whatnot. And then Tony, he's over there warming up, you know, and he's slapping the pads and he's hitting it so hard.
Is that a real? Is he professional?
I mean, yeah, Tony's a professional boxer, and you know, he's from Liverpool, and he's the champ right now. So he was legit. So anyway, the first take we did it. He said he was gonna go about 40%. It felt about 70%. Man, he hit me like right around here, like right around in my cheekbone area, and I just remember feeling my head snap, and then I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just go with it. So I kind of, you know, I went down, hit the canvas, and on the first time we did the shot, his left hand was in front of the camera, so they didn't even see the punch connect whatsoever. So we had to do it again. So we did it for a second time.
Like right after?
Like right after, because I didn't want to sit around and think about it and talk about it. I just wanted to set it up, reset, and just kind of do it again. And we got it on the second shot.
Did he realize how affected you were?
No, I mean, he's a nice guy. A few times we were going through choreography and we kind of like accidentally hit each other, and every time, you know, he would like, you know, actually hit me, I could see the look in his eye. He was just like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Because he's such a nice guy, but you know, when you're in a moment and you know, you're in the middle of a scene, we try to stay focused and stay in character as long as we could.
Well, you look like a badass. I mean, yeah.
Do what you gotta do. I do.
Cool. So I assume that most people who are watching this have seen Creed, but do you want to catch up the viewers who haven't on where we find Rocky in this?
Rocky and Adonis. I mean, we find Adonis, who's you know, the illegitimate son of Apollo Creed, and you know, he's in his mid-20s, trying to figure out life, trying to figure out his own destiny, kind of like, you know, who he is on the inside. You know, growing up without a father, without having that, you know, that father figure in his life had left a lot of questions for him, especially as a man.
Yeah.
And then also having a dad that is, you know, world famous is another thing. So you kind of see these images and hear these stories about this man, this figure, this guy, and you're not able to ask him anything, you know, things you really want to know from your father. So anyway, and having, you know, Apollo Creed's, you know, wife, you know, Marianne, you know, she adopted me and kind of kept me out of the boxing world. So for a lot of times I'm trying to, you know, find my passion, find my purpose, you know, and I ultimately think it's boxing, but having the entire world, the entire city basically shut me out, you know, and having nowhere to go, which actually pushes Adonis to travel to Philly to find Rocky, the only person that knew my father, you know, better than anybody else, and hopefully try to get some answers and, you know, and hopefully get a trainer. And ultimately, I think that longing for a father figure, he ultimately finds in Rocky that he didn't really know, he didn't really expect to get that type of relationship. And then on the other hand, I think Rocky wasn't expecting to find this son type of relationship, this you know, that actually inspired him, that reminded him what it was to fight. Because I think Rocky lost his fight in this one, and Adonis showed him, you know, the meaning of fighting again.
There you go. Good
summary. So that's kind of it, I think.
That's the entire
And then you got a
thing.
love story, you know, you got Bianca, you know, played by Tessa Thompson, who's
Who
an
is
amazing
a dead
actress.
ringer for Lisa Bonet?
She is
Can we discuss?
awesome. Isn't she nice?
So
Isn't
good.
it?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's a great comparison. Yeah, I think so as well. And she's extremely talented, so we had a lot of fun shooting that.
Cool. So Ryan Coogler, who directed this, has been telling a lot of stories about how he had a huge personal connection to Rocky growing up. He watched it with his dad. Did it hold the same kind of meaning for you?
No, not that I didn't respect it and I didn't love, the series growing up. I just didn't have that, father-son dynamic, sitting down watching the Rocky films like Ryan did. And which was kind of, a good thing for me because I got a chance to fall in love with the Rocky franchise, from start to finish right before we started filming.
Yeah.
So I had that fresh kind of, impression of the film and the franchise and what it meant and kind of like that meaning. So being able to step into, that world, with Ryan, it was definitely an honor because, these characters have been around for 40 years. And to kind of step into that legacy, that world was a big deal. So.
Ryan is for people who don't know, he directed Fruitvale.
Sorry, yeah, Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, no,
directed
I think
Fruitvale
it's my
Station.
bad. And so you guys you filmed 2 movies together in a very short period of time.
Yep.
How great was it having someone who knew you directing Creed?
As the older I get, the more sets that I'm on, I realize the connection between director and actor is so important. And for us to be able to work on Fruitvale Station, 2.5, 3 years ago, and actually talk about Creed before we actually shot that project.
How did he pitch it to you?
It was really loose. Honestly, he was like, "Hey, Mike, man, I got this idea, doing the story about, Apollo Creed's son. You want to play him?" I said, "Cool." And then we went and shot Fruitvale.
How could you just say cool? You trust him that much?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
For sure. I mean, Ryan's that kind of guy. When you talk, you believe him and you listen. He has a certain masculinity and and softness to him, which is it just allows you to be vulnerable, and I think that's a really good quality to have as a director. And then he's very confident, and he knows a lot. He's very knowledgeable, especially at a very young age, but he doesn't claim to know everything, and he's willing to learn and collaborate, I think, which is really, really important. So for us, same age, grew up in similar places, had a lot in common, care about a lot of the same things, and we just clicked, honestly, on a professional, on a personal level. So we plan on, working together.
That's so cool to find your kind of creative partner at a young age.
Extremely lucky.
Yeah.
No, extremely lucky. So we plan on, we have a lot of things we want to do moving forward. So we plan on, keep working.
I mean, are we talking Creed sequel? Because everyone, even Sly, is dropping hints that it's going to happen.
I mean, I think it's safe. It's on the safer side to say that a sequel will happen eventually. Because of success and how it turned out and just the chemistry. And I think the story and the characters are so rich, there's so many places that they can go, and I think it's really interesting to kind of see them kind of just go out throughout their journey.
So you're down for it?
I'm definitely down for it, for sure. Definitely.
He's for training now.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So when you were walking through, someone came up to me and was like, he should do a workout video.
What do you mean, like a workout video? Like
a Jane Fonda style.
Like a DVD,
yeah,
just
to show how you got in shape for, because you've done a lot of men's magazines, you're talking about your workout, right?
Yep.
So give us
a visual?
Well, sure.
No.
You can't do, if you were going to do a workout video, what would be the things that you would tell people about what you went through to prepare for this movie?
Workout video. I mean, I guess it's got to be entertaining, right? Nobody wants a boring video. So I think, probably the food, the diet.
That was the key.
That was definitely key. So I guess going through what I ate is definitely going to be in the video somewhere. And then.
What did you eat?
I ate a lot of brown rice, grilled chicken, and broccoli, honestly. A protein, starch, and a carb and vegetable.
You were like, I've worked out so much I could just eat whatever I want.
I did on Sundays.
Oh.
I did. You know what? You have to really sacrifice and really get to a certain place. But once you get there physically, you reach the goal, and you kind of you're looking the way you really want to look to. Then you can kind of you can slack off a little bit. You can loosen the reins a little bit on your diet. But for the most part, it was 6 days on, 1 day off, and
I could tell you were posting a lot of Instagrams of the bod. I feel like you were proud of it.
I mean, I tried to keep it under wraps until the movie came out. So Instagram, I was just trying to throw out little things here and there. But I was always kind of, I don't know. I just didn't want to come out of nowhere and be like, oh, ooh, who's that? So I kind of wanted to slowly filter in the progress.
Right. Well, it was a pretty big transformation. Did it really add to? Did you feel like, okay, I'm a legit boxer now?
No, for sure. I mean, for a while, the mentality, just walking around, I felt like a fighter. I mean, I was boxing every day for the last year and some change, working out, hanging around real fighters in the gyms. It's just a matter of time before you start to pick up the mannerisms and just the body language. So yeah, for sure.
Have you kept it up? Are you still boxing?
I'm still boxing every once in a while. Not as much as I used to, but I definitely do it to kind of stay in shape, keep me disciplined, keep me focused, and And but it's the weird thing, I can't work out as much because I can't fit my suits. So it's like if I get like, you know, fitted for a suit and then I work out and the event is until like maybe like the next week or so, they don't quite fit the same. So yeah, stylist is not
Muscle
really
problems.
happy. Yeah, Jeff Kim isn't really happy about that. So I've been slimming up.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, so we got so many Twitter questions for you. The first ones, I will admit, are not that serious.
Not that serious?
Yeah, they,
Okay.
you know, why is Michael B. Jordan so fine? When will Bay follow me? When you finally gonna pop the question and ask me to marry you, Michael B. Jordan? We got a lot of marriage proposals.
Okay.
Okay, so
All
we're
right,
gonna
that's
skip
good.
over those. Okay, so Tanya J wants to know, with the success of Fruitvale Station and Creed, any plans for a production company with you and Ryan Coogler?
Oh man. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we're kind of like in the process of working that out now. Actually, trying to figure that out.
Tanya, you got the scoop. Bro.
Yeah, you're trying to figure that out. But you know, ultimately, you know, that is the goal, to be able to create, you know, your own, you know, work and art, and be able to collaborate with like-minded individuals like Ryan. So, you know, we have a lot of things that we care about and things that we commonly want to, you know, achieve. So, you know, why not team up and get it done?
I've heard that you're interested in like developing scripts and things that you wouldn't necessarily be starring in. So
Exactly.
you want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm not the type of guy. I mean, anybody that really knows me knows I'm not the limelight guy. I'm the guy that always needs to be in front. And, you know, so I like to be able to see somebody that's great at what they do and put them in a position to win. You know, I like being able to, you know, kind of assimilate this all-star kind of, you know, cast and crew and people that I've met over the years, and, you know, talented people that I admire their work, and be able to put them in a situation, you know, to do something nice, do something special. So ultimately, that's what I want to do. So
Nice.
taking
Cool.
steps towards that.
Okay, we already covered the sequel question. Todd and Tune. Oh, this is kind of a spicy question. What does it feel like to be in one of the best reviewed and one of the worst reviewed movies in the same year? That does, I mean,
Balanced.
yeah.
I feel very balanced. I don't think I could have fully appreciated Creed for what it is and what it's done, without having, you know, kind of a setback right before, you know, with Fantastic. I think ultimately I set out to do the same thing on both projects. You know, I gave 110%, but just ultimately certain things are just outside of your control.
Right.
So, and it's a growth process for me. You know, it's becoming more mature, understanding the business, understanding everything's not going to be a home run. You know, everything isn't going to be, you know, exactly what you want it to be. So, you just try to, you know, you value the moments in the situations that you find yourself in, like a Creed, where you're working with, you know, talented cast, you know, great studios, you know, great director, and everything just seems to kind of like fall in place. So it just worked out.
Yeah, I feel like it would make the success of this feel even more.
For sure. I mean, honestly, like the last, you know, few weeks, you know, since Thanksgiving, since the movie came out, it's been every day is something new. It's a new high, and I've just been enjoying it.
There you go. Oh, I like this one. I love MBJ says, do you miss Friday Night Lights?
I do. I
Like,
do.
sit in bed, like, those were the days.
Those were the days. Austin, Texas, man. It was a
Like
lot.
Vince, obviously.
Vince Howard, yeah, seasons 4 and 5. I do miss FNL. You know, Kyle Chandler is an amazing actor. We had a lot of fun down there, and
You keep in touch
Derek
with
Phillips, and yeah, man, he actually texted me the other day after he saw the film, and he was super excited about it. So that was a good text to get from Coach.
I wish that in your phone it
Yeah.
was like, Riggins, Lila.
I haven't talked to Taylor in a while, actually. Talk to Madison. Yeah, I mean, I keep in touch as much as I can.
It's cool to see all you guys doing. Like Jesse Plemons has had a great
Jesse's
year.
doing
You
good.
guys are all doing really well.
Yeah, Matt Lauria is doing great. You know, I love that show, Kingdom. So he's been doing good.
Would you go back to a television show like that?
I will go back to TV if it's the right situation, for sure, under the right circumstances. Yeah, I mean, that's where I came from.
Right.
You know, I started out there, and I have definitely a love and appreciation for it. I want to, you know, produce and television as well. So yeah, definitely, I'll definitely go back to TV.
Right, because you started on soaps.
Started on All My Children. Well, The Wire came first.
Oh, The Wire was before.
The Wire came first, and then Hardball came first. It was a film, and then television was The Wire, all my children, a bunch of episodics.
Okay, so I know people always kind of give soap operas like a hard time. Were there things you learned on the set of that have actually served you well in your career?
Oh, for sure, work ethic. I have nothing ill to say about soap operas. It's like, you know, we have some of the best fans ever. You know, they're super hardcore and supportive, and they'll follow you throughout, you know, your career and whatever you do. And just the pace of soap operas, you know, just going in there, doing 90 plus pages a day, you know, and just being prepared and trying to be fresh as much as you can, and working around veterans, you know, like, you know, Susan Lucci is an amazing actress and woman. She taught me so much. I learned so much from her. And Walt Wiley, Darnell Williams, you know, there's so many people on that show who taught me a lot. So yeah, I love soap operas. Like, soap operas is cool.
You should pull like a James Franco and go back and do
Go
an
back to
episode.
soaps?
Just like a one-off.
Just a one-off? I mean, you know.
What happened to your character?
We'll figure it out.
Was it open-ended?
I think Reggie's still at basketball camp right now. I think he's still working on his jump shot.
You're like the actual Michael B.
Yeah,
You're the
right,
actual
Reggie.
Michael
Yeah,
B.
Reggie's in the league for sure. Like, for
No,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Jem wants to know, what challenges did you face becoming Adonis Creed, and how did you overcome them?
Biggest challenges. Biggest challenge for me, I think, might have been, I think, the physical transformation. I don't really I look at, you know, character development as a challenge, but I think that's the fun part for me. You know, working with it, you know, my director and figuring out a character's wants, his needs, where is he from, you know, what is he missing, what is he, like, you know, just all answering all those questions character-wise, I think is the fun part. You know, that's you know, that's what you really look forward to. Training for this one, you know, I love food. Cutting out, you know, a lot of things that I love to eat and working so hard. You know,
What'd you miss the most?
Probably bread and cheese. Yeah, bread and cheese.
Like a solid grilled cheese.
Like a solid sandwich, you know, like a solid sandwich, or like, or.
But I feel like you still probably never eat that stuff.
I mean, no. I eat everything. Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I mean, genetics. My sister hates me. She hates me because, you know, I could just eat whatever I want and not gain anything. But anyway, yeah, whatever.
Dudes.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think diet and training was definitely probably the most challenging part of Creed. And as far as overcoming that obstacle, my trainer, and I'm surrounding myself with people that, you know, will push me through and you know. We had a goal to achieve. We had something we set out to do. So, you know, the mornings you didn't feel like getting up. You know, I had somebody there, you know, banging down my door. You know, get up. It's time to hit the gym. In the recovery, ice baths is probably one of the most challenging things I've had
Oh
to
God,
do.
how long did you sit in that?
3 minutes, what seems like a short time, but it's an eternity when you're actually in there. So about 3 minutes until you can't feel anything anymore.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
lovely.
yeah, one or the other. and then you're good to go. But you feel 10 times better the next day.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a lot of questions about Stallone.
Okay.
Were you like? He actually kind of seems like a big teddy bear, but is he tough? Like, what was the first meeting with you guys?
First meeting was, well, Ryan had met him already, so I'm pretty sure Ryan kind of, you know, massaged the table a little bit, you know, got it all nice and warm for me. And then I was hearing a lot of, you know, stories and stuff from Ryan, so I wasn't really intimidated going into it at all. I just didn't know. I mean, Ryan could tell me, you know, he's a cool guy, man, don't worry about it. You guys will get along great. So, you know, you walk in, and I guess in the back of your mind, you're expecting to see, like, or to meet Rocky. Mm-hmm. And then you see him and you're sitting there and it's like, you know, he starts talking and it's like, it's not Rocky at all. I mean, it's just, not even a little bit, you know, it's you know, two completely different people. I mean,
What are the main differences?
I think, like, Sly is just, you know, he's a very, very funny guy. You know, he has jokes. He's always on joke time. He can tell you, you know, where this tablecloth came from, why is it knit, what color is it exactly? Is it white? No, it might be a little off-white with a hint of gray. You know, he's very specific he's very knowledgeable about a lot of little things, about a lot actually. And so when I first met him, it was like meeting like an old uncle. You know, we were talking about football and sports.
I like how you call him that.
And that kind of came from the time that we spent before we actually started filming, you know, and it just kind of worked. But anyway, I mean, we would talk about, you know, sports, and, you know, we start shadow boxing. He's talking how to, you know, teaching me how to throw punches for the screen, and, you know, where do you draw your power from, and it's just like not Rocky at all, and I think our chemistry, you know, working on character development, working on scenes, you know, before we actually started filming, just added to the chemistry to our characters once we actually got on set, and actually playing the moments where we don't know each other was a lot of fun, because that's when you get a chance to really like to play around, because when we yell cut, we're laughing and joking like we've known each other for years. So to find those moments of I don't know, to try to find those unique moments of not knowing one another after you spend so much time together is always a challenging thing, but it's fun.
There you go. So do you have your own sort of like mentor figure in your life akin to sort of the Rocky Adonis relationship? Have you ever had something like that?
No, not really. I mean, I guess my parents, my dad would probably be the closest thing to a real mentor. For me, just setting an example, somebody that I look up to, as far as just hard work, sacrifice, and dedication to something. And I think I kind of take those values and I put it to in anything and everything that I do. And then of course there's careers and stuff that you look at, artistically from an actor side that you respect and you marvel at and you kind of want to come close to, or something like. But as far as mentors are concerned, I think my dad would definitely be that.
There you go. Well, you've mentioned like other actors that you've looked up to who are sort of in the awards conversation with you right now, like Leo. You always mention, and
Matt Damon as well is definitely another guy that I think is extremely talented and somebody just look up to and just make great choices. I think over the years.
So what do you do when you meet someone who kind of look up to like that? Like, do you play it cool, or are you?
First time I met Leo. Nah, man, we ended up talking about comic books for a little bit. It was one of those, I guess it's all about how, I guess in the beginning, as you're, you're getting success and you're growing, it's always this, small pup looking at the big dog,
Yeah.
It's always that. So you're always a little hesitant about, like going over and saying hello, or if are they gonna who are you, kid? Get away from me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not signing any autographs today. I just want to say I love your work. You never know what kind of experience you're gonna get, but as you get older and more mature and you start to get success, you feel more comfortable and confident about going up to somebody that you look up to and saying, you really respect their work, not really looking for anything in return, just saying, that, I acknowledge, what you're doing and you're really helping me motivate me, in my own career. So that's always good. But Leo was really cool. We sat there, we talked about comic books and characters for a little bit, and kept it going. And it's always in the back of your head, one day I want to work with you, And the same thing with Matt as well. So hopefully one day I'll have the opportunity to get on set and I'll play around and go toe to toe, with some scenes. So that I'm looking forward to those moments.
This weekend, if you said you're going to go to the Golden Globes, you should just
I'll be at the Globes.
This week, you guys want to do something?
You want to do something together? Let's find something.
Or you and Leo could trade. Since he's been talking about how difficult The Revenant was, you could be like, "Did you get knocked out like on the set of Creed?"
Yeah, but they shot like literally in the wilderness in the cold. I'm a tropical weather creature myself, so that would have been very challenging.
You couldn't have handled the wilds of Canada.
That would have been rough. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I'm gonna try to see it before this weekend for sure, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, are you a big movie watcher? Like, what have you been into this year?
This year, Sicario was amazing for me. I think the tension, the entire film was incredible. The score was amazing. A lot of oneers. I'm a big fan of oneers, so I think that, hi, sorry.
Your fans.
No, I just caught my line, so I just had to say hello. Sicario was amazing. I'm trying to think what else was really good this year. The Martian was great.
Those are all films that people are talking about for Oscar possibilities, and you're in that discussion.
Am I?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Like, you've been through that with Fruitvale, though. I mean, is it cool? I mean, it's a lot of hype. Like, how do you differentiate?
I think it's a mixture of everything. I think it's a roller coaster ride of emotions. I think you have moments, when you're not thinking about it at all, and then then you might have a moment where a couple articles might come out here and there or whatever, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool, I wasn't expecting that, but I guess, okay, and you kind of keep it going, and then you try to manage your expectations, it's just because you're not in it for the attention. Well, I'm not anyway, for the the attention and awards and stuff like that, but to be acknowledged and recognized by those groups of people is one of the biggest compliments you can get, and so you try to manage them, and let the chips fall where they may. So.
Well, wherever they fall, Creed is killing it at the box office. You're killing it in general. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, and visit latimes.com for more.